Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da. We are here and seeing this is going on. Welcome to the Psy Tai Podcast number 37. 37. 37. Screaming across the mountain tops. But yeah, I'm just here, guys. Thanks y'all for coming through. Thank y'all for coming through. As usual, the link to the Discord in the description if you want to join in, chat it up on the phone lines, and do whatever tie on from there out. Just Tai, for those, is this your first episodes when we combine our minds with our hearts, connect those two circles, let whatever come out, come on out. I'm at a different angle right now. I'm going to see how this works out. I like that it's on the side. It's not like directly in my face. But I'm liking this. Hopefully y'all having a wonderful morning, evening, night, midnight, special, whatever time is coming at y'all. Enjoy this energy. Take part in this atmosphere. Now we can have some kind of conversation. I'm got the, let me see. Make sure I can share this video. Oh, I got a link right here. I can just click share on Facebook. Cool. I titled this today, What is Heaven? What is Hell? Let me share this. Currently live. But before I get into any of that, make sure the last live was cool yesterday. I really enjoyed the last live. Thank you, Martiez. Thank you, Matias, for joining the conversation and keeping it broad and light and getting in talk about some real things. We was going about what meaning actually meant, like the word meaning, and pairing it with the word nihilism, and how this world is meaningless and meaningful at the same time. It's whatever we choose it to mean, because meaning really like comes from a word that means purpose and significance and stuff like that. Go check it out. I'll probably make an individual clip of it so that it can live on by itself. That's how much I enjoyed it. I share to a page. There we go. Have the opportunity. Most people are like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm like, I sure don't. I sure don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. I just woke up. I said I want to go live. I've been up for about 45 minutes putting this all together, making sure the computer was in a place where the internet wouldn't just cut off. Had to do that by just letting the stream run for a while by itself, seeing if it cut off. Proper troubleshooting at its best. But yeah, what I was getting about meaning and is heaven and hell. Like, what is heaven and hell? I think we can have a good thing, because you know how we always do. Look up the etymology of heaven. Cause let's start from there. See what they say it is in English. I guess I'll move the mouse this way. Okay. All right. Let's see what's going on here. Heaven origin. Oh, it's a Germanic word. So a lot of our words come from German. Holy fun. Old English holy fun, or Dutch Himmel, and German Himmel. Old English Heophon of Germanic origin, related to Dutch Himmel and German Himmel. A place regarded in various religions as the abode of God or gods and angels, and of the good after death, often traditionally depicted as being above the sky. The state of being internally in the presence of God after death, used in various exclamations as a substitute for God. Exclamation. Heaven! Explanation. Heaven knows. Oh, I heard that before. Heaven knows this is real. Literary, like in books. The sky, especially perceived as a vault in which the sun, moon, stars, and planets are situated. Galileo used a telescope to observe the heavens. A place, state, or experience of supreme informal. A place, state, or experience of supreme bliss. Lying by the pool with a good book is my idea of heaven. Oh, and they didn't always have this on Google. You see how they got the similar ecstasy, bliss, rapture, contentment, happiness, delight. The heavens open up. It starts to freeze. In seventh heaven. Oh, I remember that show, Seven Heaven. Seven Heaven. In a state of ecstasy. Move heaven and earth to do something. I want to see the actual word. So we put together all these words to make heaven. And we're actually using it less often. It was used a lot more in the 1800s. And now it's being used significantly less. I wonder why. Let's look up hell. Hell, Old English. Hell, Dutch. Hell, German. Hoya. I don't have a German. I don't know how to read German. Explanation. Used to express annoyance or surprise for emphasis. Expressing anger, content, or disbelief. Who the hell are you? A place regarded in various religions as a spiritual realm of evil and suffering, often traditionally depicted as a place of perpetual fire beneath the earth, where the wicked are punished after death. A place of great suffering or unbearable experience. Oh, it's the exact opposite. Hell is actually being used more often. It's actually rising up in terms. Wow, I wonder why that trend started. We're like, we don't believe in heaven, but we'll use that word hell. To hell with this. To hell with this world. Wait, what's this one saying? Let's see what this thing say. The concept of hell is prevalent in many religions, although exact description varies from one religion to another. In Christianity, Islam, and the popular imagination, the popular imagination, notice they said that, hell is frequently depicted as a fiery pit located underground where souls are tormented by their past sins and demonic forces. Ultimately, hell has been described in Dante's Inferno as a freezing cold and despondently gloomy place. The origin of the English word hells come from Germanic language. Originally, hal meant to cover. The word was also used to designate the goddess of the Norse underworld and daughter underworld I'll just say Nephilim, Niflheim, and daughter of Loki. In Christianity, the word hell in Latin, infernus, infernum, inferi, in Greek, Hades, in Hebrew, Seol, is used in Scripture and the Apostles' Creed to refer to the abode of all the dead, where righteous or evil, unless or until they are admitted to heaven. So they trying to say this place you get to before you get to heaven. I don't think that's like that in Christianity at all. I know in Islam they try to say you're only in hell for a little bit of time and then you get out. And in Christianity, they like, no, you're there forever. But the word that it meant to cover, the goddess of the North underworld, Nephilim. I want to see what this is. Nephhaim. And this how the Norse saw their world. You see the world tree, the axis mundi in the middle? A lot of people try to say that too, that the axis mundi is the North Pole. And that has a lot of significance to the earth and stuff. Wow, this is the dome stuff. That's cool. I like that. And got the snake. wrapped around the island. Yggdrasil. I don't know how to do that. Yggdrasil. Land of Mist is a realm of ice and cold in Norse mythology, whose frigid environs provide a final resting place for dishonored dead. Hel, the grim giantess whose rules over the deceased, also makes her home here. This jury depiction can be fruitfully contrasted with the glorious atmosphere of camaraderie and rivalry awaiting warriors in Valhalla. Important for two reasons. It provides a site for one of the world's tree roots, Yggdrasil. I did hear that before. To be anchored. Second, the ice rim is seen as one of the primordial sources of creation, as its frigid mists were thought to have combined with fiery gusts from nearby Muspelheim to congeal into the first living beings. So this is a whole nother description of hell. And we took this and mixed it in with ours. I mean with Christianity. Alright, the more specifically, the terms Nephim, dark world, fog world, and Nephhal, the dark hell, fog hell, are used interchangeably in various sources, and both are occasionally used to describe the abode of hell, the queen of the underworld and ruler over the spirits of the dead. As Lindo suggests, the confusion between Nephheim and Nephhil is nested, summed up by variations in the manuscript. Yep. Yeah, I don't really know that much about Norse mythology. I see they getting into many ages before the earth was shaped. Cool. Alright, so that's what this is about. So there's all these different depictions of what hell is. Like in this one, Hyle or something was a actual goddess who wanted to, who was part of creation. Hmm. I mostly brought this all up. Let me bring this back up. I mostly brought this all up because of the fear that pops out a lot. What's going on? Because of the fear that pops out a lot when dealing with thinking about heaven and hell and how we choose to live our life based off of what's actually going on. I mean, what's actually said is awaiting us when we die. Like we saw a lot of things is waiting for us when we die, and like in terms of being punished for things that we did while we were here, and being rewarded for things that we did while we was here. Like it's some kind of point system, like it's some kind of point system going out, and we just playing along trying to gain a lot of points, not trying to lose points. And it's this funny game we play. It's this funny game we play because then we say, how do you get more points? Who is who is the points counter? Who is the ultimate point counter? These people that live over here are saying, and that grew up in India are saying these new people are the point counters. These people over here in China, Tibet saying these people are the point counters. Christians saying Jesus is the point counter. His father, Muhammad, is one. Like a lot of people, whatever God you formed up, is like that's the point counter. That's the person. Every time you do something good, oh, he shook somebody's hand today and smiled. Click click. Oh, look at him choosing to put down that burger or whatever. I don't know, whatever. Whatever it is in your circle. I don't have no judging thoughts. Well, who is that? Who is that judgmental God? Who is that judgmental God that we say is keeping points? That people say are keeping points. You know? Let's try to bring this back in here. Because psychedelics, they bring you to a point where get rid of all of that. You get rid of all that noise in your head of constantly checking over your back to make sure that you get in the right points. Because it's like you still, before psychedelics and trying to do it with your own mind and stuff, you start reading these texts and they start telling you how you just nothing but the flesh and you sinning all the time and you feel you gotta beat yourself up and give yourself up over to the Lord every day and stuff like that. It's it's really, it takes a huge toll. It takes a huge toll. And put this over here. It takes a huge toll on what you can actually, whoop, 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 on what is actually possible. Like it seemed like it's really holding back. Hold on, let me put this here. Burn the combo. There it is. I just posted this in the Discord. But living with a fear over your back for all your life, I just see that as really taxing and very, very unnecessary. Very unnecessary because it takes the discernment really out of yourself. It's like, I don't really know why I do these things. I can't control while I do these things. But I just have to maintain and make sure that I do more of this than that. So when that moment comes, I'm set and ready. I'm set and ready to be taken up. I think I can get some more light. I'm set and ready to be taken up and raptured up. The rapture. Like that's a big thing in the Christian community, being ready for the rapture. I was ready for the rapture. I was ready for the rapture. Me and my mom used to watch movies called Left Behind, and this before they remade them into like bigger blockbuster movies. But it was just like these Christians that wanted to make a movie. It was called Left Behind, and then people was disappearing. I think I should put the mic right here. There it is. People are disappearing. Like the rapture, for those who don't know, is what takes place in Revelations in the Bible. And it said that in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, all of God's children is going to be brought up into heaven. And then it's going to be like 7 years of the Antichrist rising up, and then 7 years of him ruling. And then another time, they say the Lord Jesus is going to come out of the clouds and kill the Antichrist and slay the serpent, and then reign on earth for a million cajillion years, whatever the concise number is. I'm not sure right now, but that's the story. That's the story. Yeah, Revelation. Sorry, Revelation. I need some water. Gosh, getting into Revelations and the rapture and all. And that's a scary thing. That's a scary thing to grow up watching for me. It was like a horror movie that I always thought was about to come to pass any moment now. Like any moment now, the Lord gonna just swipe up. So I need to make sure I went to church last Sunday, and not that I just went to church, that I was participating in church. What's going on? Sup, Sahi? I see your messages now. Thanks for coming on in. Yeah, that Nicholas. It was before Nicolas Cage. Like I said, before they did the blockbuster. I didn't even see the Nicolas Cage version, but it was some C-rate, D-rate actors, and they made them. And they made a movie. They made a movie to scare people into going to church. Cause I was just watching it with my mom, and she always had an outward bond of like not, when it came to Bible things, it still kind of did her own thing. But when it came to the rapture, she was always wanted to make sure that we was ready, that we were ready to be taken up. I started about, hey, what's going on, Nerdy Afro? 94. I got here like 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago. That the party just really starting off now. I'm tired of knowing revelations, and the rapture, and this fear of the rapture happening any moment now, and people living with this fear and like living with it all their lives, man. Hey, cozy. How you get that short name without anybody else having it first? Must have got that username early. Hey, what's going on? Tying it on out. Do y'all have any thoughts on heaven or hell or something like that? Cause luckily I grew up and learned a little more about it. Right now I got some FF Sunset Sherbert. What is that? I don't think I get a good picture on this. Oh yeah, it's no autofocus. Um, Look at that nugget porn. Yo, you on True's Discord? What's good, bro? Nice to see more people doing lives. I put the link right here. That's the Just Tai Discord. So that we got I'm on the True Discord too, but we keeping things because it's going to get big. So we got to make sure we're able to maintain everything that's going on. So it's going to be kind of split ups at times. I got a lot to say about the rapture in heaven and hell. Yeah, come on the Discord and say and talk about it. Tie on. Follow that link. I already got the thing open. Let me just make sure I got it. Take this off. There we go. My filter came out. But no, and it was funny. A little tidbit though. After a while, when I stopped going to church and stuff, or I never really stopped going to church when I was younger because I was forced to always go and participate. I used to my aunt and them used to say, "Man, you gonna be here when the rapture still when the rapture happened." They used to tell me you're gonna be one of those people that know what to do when everybody going. I was like, "What that's supposed to mean? I want to go to heaven. I want to stay here." But my doubts were fresh. Ah, my filter came out. That ain't gooch. So then when you like, I'm just tying that, just saying that when you living with this thought that the rapture is going to happen, is even comparable to people thinking that an alien is about to happen. Like people even look up the aliens as saviors, like saying, "Oh, the aliens is going to come. They're going to teach humans who the fuck they are, and that they've been messing up all of this time." That they've been messing up all of this time, and we gonna have to show them by wiping them out, like all these horror movies with the aliens coming down and killing all the humans, and then having an excuse. Like I don't think any of that is gonna happen. I really don't think any of that. I think all of that is just terror stories because a lot of people out here ain't dealing with what's actually going on in their own psyche. So they're saying, I don't believe in Jesus, but I believe in aliens. I believe them aliens gonna come. I say the aliens already here. Whatever these former aliens are, they been here. They always been here. And you know they coming in the future. What if rapture, heaven, and hell are all just stories we tell ourselves to maintain our identity at that mindset? I said nerdy afro. No, I will say that. That is exactly the story that our brain tells ourselves when we in that mindset. Like I said, I grew that mindset was programmed for Christianity and to dive deep into it and see the ins and outs. because I was interested in it. It was what was going on. That was my extra. That was my otherworldly. That's where I got my otherworldly senses from. That mindset creates just having heaven, hell, rapture, and all that stuff on your mindset. Like that being part of it. If we didn't tell ourselves that we'll be someone else, we really would be. We really would be. And the people, the people that was saying these things, that was saying that heaven and hell wasn't real and things like that, the religion always paints the opposite side as being the devil. So you like, whoa, whoa, I ain't gonna touch that. I ain't gonna touch that because I don't want to burn in hell like they are. But they always seem to be having the most fun. They always seem to be having the most fun. The ones that didn't have all those thoughts on their mind. I was about to use the most corniest term in the world. I was about to say the rock and rollers. The cause you gotta think even rappers though we still believe in heaven and hell to a point. Cause they be saying, man, if I go to hell, hey, and I did what I had to do on earth. Oh, that just brought me back. That just brought me back to more church memories, more church programming, where it was this documentary that they used to show, and it was a special event. Like they showed 3 parts over 3 weeks. We had to come back every Thursday to watch it at nighttime, and it was about hip hop music, and it being and it was this preacher talking about it. And he so called had all these inner secrets about how they was all devil worshippers. And he was going in about Jay-Z and how Jay's like he was going all in about this and say, oh, he's calling himself God now, like Jehovah. Like they evidence was like in that mindset, the evidence that they was pointing out, it was like, you're right, amen, hallelujah, hallelujah, yep. Oh, the preacher got it this time. He be on it. God really spoke to him. He ain't speak to me like that. Dang, I wish he spoke to me like that, but he spoke to him like that. Thank you, God, for putting your word into this preacher and speaking through him through the Holy Spirit. That's just the play. That's the drama that goes on there. But I remember really watching it. And I really believed in it. I used to tell my mom, because my mom was always listening to hip hop music. She's 18 years older than me, so she grew up in the 90s. She was a kid in the 90s, so she was in that scene. She was in part of the creation of hip hop culture, so to speak. So she was always into hip hop no matter what. And I used to be coming home in middle school. Like I was in middle school. I wasn't in high school. I was in middle school, probably just coming out of elementary school too. Oh, wow, I was too aware. But I say, Mom, we can't listen to this music, this devil worship music. Like you gotta turn that off. And she used to be looking at me and stuff like it funny, like, oh, he got that from church. Cause she used to feel. She told me later that she used to feel a little kind of guilty, but she was still doing her because she was a human being, and I was just a little kid. But that's what she was saying, and it was. I used to turn her music off. She used to say, and turn her when she used to have friends downstairs, and be like, yeah, we can't listen to this music. Oh, Cozy, you said the devil can exist in certain instances of the matrix we live in today, but just remember that the devil can bless you just like God can. Yeah, yep. And I'm going to go just like how you said it. The devil can bless you just like God can. That's why when you hear people talking about the rain and they want like this sadness and stuff, like don't run away from yourself because it's some things that if you can realize where your place in it, what you did wrong, the devil and you in the moment, then you can really see what you can really have a better moment afterwards instead of saying, oh, that was the devil, like pointing it outwardly and stuff like that. But I still have a strong feeling that God and the devil can be part of the program. Yeah, I would say that in the program, in this simulation that we're in, that when we look at ourselves up there that it is a God compared. It does seem like it's a God and a devil because things is playing out. The play is playing out. In order for the play and the story to exist in the first place, it has to be this idea of a god and devil running amok, so that differences and more separations can come about, and then through those separations, more experiences, novel experiences, like unique experiences, can come about. Like this would happen when this thought encountered this thought. But what's the difference between God and the devil? They are the same in essence. They are the same in essence. The only thing difference that come about is when you start dragging it down to thought form. I would say, whoa, that door is starting to close by itself. I wish I would have turned that around just now. It's no wind in here. It's no. I don't have both doors open, and it just. Isla, like what the heck? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Good morning.
Say this way.
All right, I see you. Playing jokes on me. Go ahead, go ahead. I'm like, that was too apparent just now. The door creaking. I'm like, wait a second. She got me. She's a jester. She's a jester in the making. But yeah. What you were saying about God and devil being the same, I don't think they exist. Period. In my own set and setting, I don't think they exist at all. I think it's all inner workings of me and my perception of where I am in my experience. And I know people out in the world though, they whenever situations going bad, they'll say that it's the devil, and when certain things going good, they'll say it's God. But what is that perception of good? It seemed good to you, and what's good to you can be bad to somebody else, and what's bad to somebody else could be awesome to another particular person. So even in that essence, it just frails, and all of those is real just subjective. It's really subjective. They are, but Lucifer is a fallen angel of light, so therefore he's here to deceive you so that you can contribute demonic energy in order to help establish the new world order agenda. I hear you, Cozy. I hear you with that, but I just don't. For me, after dealing with psychedelics and going into this, I like when I see angels and hear about angels and things. I really do see that as all being us, but us being in the mindset where we're not recognizing the full enough story of what's going on, and all these stories of angels and demons start coming into play in order for things to make sense for a future. Future says that's another thing. It is within you, but then how do you explain rituals? Oh, exactly. Just giving identification of what's rising. Rituals, I can't explain anything. I'm just tying. We can give your explanation what a ritual is too. But what I can tie on rituals is that it's very significant. It has a very never-ending story type vibe through it. That reeling of magic. Yeah, that feeling of magic, of like really putting your all into a situation and putting your feelings into it. Like during when I'm on a mushroom experience, what I'm doing is no doubt in my mind that the actions that I'm doing and the way that I'm feeling is impacting not just the state in mind that I'm in now, but a state in mind that's trickling throughout time and trickling to my supposed future self and my past self, because it helps me recognize that only right now is what it is. So whatever I'm doing in this moment now is correlated, no matter how confused the intellect gets when it tries to connect the dots. They're all correlated. Like that butter, as humans say, the butterfly effect too. The butterfly effect. A butterfly swats his wings, and then now it's a hurricane 100 miles away 5 days later. Like, how is it related? Is it related? I think it's related. It's a ritual. And the intention and everything, your intentions and being the mongoose, being a magician when you're in these states, not letting yourself be run over by these concepts and thoughts, where you pass all of the seeing it as certain creatures, but you're working with them, you're controlling them, you're making them. And you're saying, no, now you're going to do this. Now you're going to do that. Nah, fuck out of here. We ain't going to have this kind of stuff happen no more. Like, this is how it is. I mean, not how it is, but this is what I want to see happen. The choices through the solar polex using X channel can be good, used for good or bad. Yeah, that good and bad is all up to the individual. You come lay on your bed. And the good and bad is all up to that individual. Great point. I agree, because psychedelics did teach me a lot about my mind. Also teach me a lot about my mind. Right, that's why when you actually believe you could do something or something uppity are doing will result in some action. It gives energy for it to arise. But some will say that it's the ritual. Some will say that it's the ritual itself. Or you're trying to say that it's the you itself. I'm trying to see where that you come in. Yeah, I think it's all you. I think it's all you. That's why I think even when it gets to rituals, when you become a real sure of what's going on and like get your stats up. I'm thinking of it like a video game. Like, get your stats up, get your experience points up and things like that. Like, you don't even supposedly need a magic wand anymore or to do anything but just think it and then it manifests. And that's the ritual of itself. Like, being so aware of what's going on in this dream world that you could just think it and it happens. You don't have to trick yourself into getting into a certain mind state through doing a ritual. Because that's the purpose of rituals too. That I used to read about was that it's to get your mind into a certain state where now you feel as though you can do this. Now you feel as though you can do that. But psychedelics, they always had me feel like I could do anything. And the experiences brought me to a point where I saw how I was everything. And not me. Not me that's touching right now or something, but the me that's controlling me. The me that's observing me. And the me behind that that's observing that. And everyone, all of them friends and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh. Oh. All these voices in my head is me. All these voices I'm ascribing, subscribing to other people and other entities and other gods. That's literally me. That's what I went in there with the intention, and it showed me the answers in ways that words don't justify. Because any words I try to put on it, a second thought comes up. It'd be like, wait, what about this? But the experience was so much not in words that it's just what I said. It's just what I have to say out of my mouth. It's like seeing somebody getting hit by a car. You saw that person get hit by the car. It's not now you like, well, I don't really think they got hit by that car. I don't really think it's like they got hit by that car. Now, over time, you can say, oh, they probably got hit by a truck. I don't know what kind of truck it is. I don't know the model of it anymore. And that's what shows us that we always don't know what totally happened. Have you tried humming? How you can see changes when you let your vibrations merge with the outside. I love humming like an old lady. Yeah, I love humming. I hum a lot. And I like humming because you're not really putting things into words. You're like thinking, you're imagining the words, but still participating in it just a little bit by like vibrating whatever it is that I guess is right here. Start shaking and stuff. And then when you start messing with your chakras, like humming for me is like activating the solar plexus and like going from the root and bringing it up and then like going up and down and then messing with that throat chakra and getting it out there. Humming is good if you got stuffed nose. It's wild because I got a kind of stuffed nose and I had to stop because I probably need some tissue. But I like humming when I see myself in a situation that I'm really not enjoying at the moment. I like that. When I'm really not in a situation I'm not enjoying, I just start humming a random song. It don't even have to have words to it. And then I'm in a different mood. I'm like, all right, let's think some other thoughts now. Let's think some other thoughts. But with psychedelics, the more I started participating, the more I started wiping out all of these fail safes that I need. But I like that those tools are there just in case. Just in case. Says I go play with you. I thought she was still here. But humming, what's coming to me? Mantras, having a mantra. I think those are all very important because we get so used to saying, I'm just tired on that. We get used to saying the same thing. Get used to responding to the situations in the same way. Even if we have a gang of ways that we respond to it, most of the time it's under the same the same umbrella of the type of feelings that we're used to feeling. I just stay coming apart. And when you got a mantra that you can actually go back to and say, and then the thing about mantras really come into play, because I say, when you hear about mantras, you're like, man, what is the point of a mantra repeating words? Like, this was my thoughts. So I like, no, I want to keep learning more. I want to keep doing more. I'm not going to just settle on this one set of things. Like, when I was learning about Hinduism and sitting down and repeating the monks and stuff, how they repeat mantras to themselves. But then I learned that you can actually repeat a mantra to yourself until you activate a certain state in yourself. But then I was never able to really experience what that state actually can be until psychedelics. And now it's like I have a state of being that I know I can get to. So then when I'm doing the mantras and stuff, it really has more power to it. It really has more power to it. Like simple ones like I am everything and nothing at all. As above, so below. Um, Nothing exists, but I exist in that nothing. It's okay. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. It don't even have to be too complicated. It don't even have to be too complicated. It's all a joke. It's all a joke. These are all mine. It's all a joke. Or the clown horn. And I just said clown horn in my head. And that snaps me back into a state of mind where I know I could flow. Not even a state of mind where I feel as though I'm feeling happy now, or now I'm feeling sad now, but just where I'm just in my flow, where I'm in my flow of being. Where I can choose to feel how I feel instead of being lost up in the feeling. Like say, it's all good, it's all good, it's all good. Say, I am everything, I am nothing. I am all that good and bad. And none of that shit. Y'all can have it. I think having mantras and responses and things like that outside of your go to your responses, you shift into different energies. It's pretty cool. It's dope. It's fantastic. Because you do shift into what we term as a different energy field. You really do. And that sound is real important. Like sound vibration. Just the fact that sound is vibration means that they're correlated. Just because. Just because. No frap yogis like to live in higher states or whatever. The surroundings matter. I love doing mantras. Most C's I don't talk much. Most CS I don't talk much. It's cool because you learn how to be in control of who you are and want to be than letting things control who you become. Yeah, that's wild. And the no fap yogis. Yo, I actually found out that the term no fap came from somebody that was on Reddit. It was a one random guy that was on Reddit, and he came up with the term no fap. No fap, no fap. So but and then he was talking about the powers and the things he got from it that he probably just got from ancient texts and stuff. But I wouldn't know how that is because no fap also um details like not having sex with a woman too. So no, I know that's different. That's different. That's different. Be who you are. That's all I gotta say. Do you believe yourself? Do you believe yourself to be the body or that wait, do you believe yourself to be the body or that you are is transmitted to your brain? Oh, you ain't have to retract that. My amygdala saw it. Responded to it. um I don't I like it. This not me. This not me. That's why I'm comfortable smoking, tying, saying whatever it is the hell come out of my mouth. Cause this is not me, but it is me. And I'm gonna take care of me or I'm gonna enjoy me as long as I'm here. I think these terms is wishy-washy. Or not even wishy-washy. It's just mind-boggling to a lot of people that this can be me and this can be me. But this is like, and it's not even a lower or it's not even a lower or higher form. Not even a lower, cause it's all imagining. But no, I think it's so many versions of me, and so many versions of myself that all the depression that I had in life was just from me trying to figure out how to work this body and figuring out how the people that surround this body interact with each other and the ideas that they're coming with about while I'm in this body, while I'm sensing this world through this body. And the science that's even here leads you to those conclusions when they say that when you touch things, it's nothing but electrical signals being sent to you from your finger to your brain, and your brain reads it. They say, even though they say they don't know how the brain reads it, or what in the excuse me, or what in the brain is actually doing the reading. I think that thing that's doing the reading is not even part of the brain to begin with. Not even in the brain to begin with, but it's using the brain to interpret what's going on. Or at least that's the story. The brain is part of the body. You are imagining to me your whole experience. You're right. Hey, what's going on, my TS? Nerdy Afro, you're right. You just summed it all up right there. You're imagining. I always felt that we don't exist at all. We don't. We that word exists is so wild. That's why I was going over that word yesterday, meaning. Like, what does the word meaning mean? And just to bring it up real fast, meaning at hold on. Before I do that, have you tried MBTI cog functions? There's a book called Returning the Nails. Cog functions. That just reminded me of geometry or trigonometry for some reason. But no, I haven't seen that. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. I want to see. I want to show y'all what this is. Matias, you was there yesterday. You seen it. But the word meaning, because we went over this when we was asking like do things, and let me bring this window over here. Sorry guys, so I can still see what people have to say. Okay. But meaning, what is meant by a word, implied or implicit significance, important or worthwhile quality. Origin. All right, here it is. A verb intended to convey, indicate, or refer, signify. What is it? What was the one that stood out? It was a certain one that stood out. He's be supposed or intended to do something. We were meant to go over. Oh, no. That's what it was. Meaning. Meaning is different than mean. Important or worthwhile quality or purpose. This can lead to a new meaning in life for older people. He gave me a full meaning of work. It was something we was going on for, and then we was turning into nihilism that was saying that nothing exists. But I was just thinking this we feel as though this only exists so much because we gave it so much meaning. We gave it a purpose. We proposed to it. That's what I was looking at. Like how in the word meaning, it means propose, signifies, it has significance to it. So we act like all of this is significant and that it actually matters. When it doesn't matter. But it means whatever we want to put into it. And a lot of people been telling us what this world is supposed to mean by telling us what's going on, and this means this. Hey, this means this, and this means that, and this means that. But what does it really mean? And then the psychedelics say, man, it's all subjective. It's all, every single point of it is subjective to even what meaning you come to when you're in a certain mindset. Dirty said, right? Yo, I had this conversation on language with some friends a while ago. Like, everything in the world has some description or group, but it's like, what is or are these things? What is a tree? We just become conscious in this realm of reality, but this reality can't be fully real to me because of our state of being is just a temporary existence. Anyway, I don't know. We've been told what a tree is, but I don't know, just how each type contributes to rich the interpersonal connection sensors feel as intuition. It's like the package in the workers. They tell us lies. Yeah, everything. We on it. Y'all all on it. Y'all all know exactly what y'all talking about. Talking about you don't know cozy. You know. It is so temporary. It is so temporary. That it seemed that after doing with psychedelics, you be like, why am I so worried about this stuff? And before you even know dealing with psychedelics, you like, man, this shit lasts forever. Or man, I'm gonna be like this forever. I'm gonna be poor forever. I'm gonna be miserable forever. And you get over it. It's like when you break your leg. When you break your leg or something, and then or it's like skaters. Skaters are used to having injuries. So when I fell, I was laughing. I was like, it hurt, but I was laughing at the pain. When I was younger or in another state of mind, I see myself when I hurt, I was like just sitting there like doing the Peter Griffin. Like just sitting there soaking in the pain, living out all the experiences of all the thoughts like, oh, why did I do that? And it seems though it was forever. Like, man, I was sitting there for 2 hours. Seemed though that pain lasted for days. When really I could have got over it because it was so temporary. I just was drawing it out. Like, how do you think you will be if you live in nature? It's a if I lived in nature alone, or if I lived in nature with friends, or if I lived in nature with a family, it's a lot of different avenues I see. It's a lot of different avenues that's present. I kind of moved out as close to nature as I can right now. I live in the mountains as opposed to when I was living in Philadelphia with 1 million people. Now I'm in this little city with only 90,000 people and is in Butte County, and most of it is nature. But as just living out in nature, I'll get my hunting game on. I'll survive. I'll be living out there. I'll make sure I have my patches of mushrooms growing, grow some mimosa trees, so eventually I can have some DMT, have my little farms going, and have them in different places too, cause I watch too much Walking Dead. But no, no, why am I thinking about zombies right now? Just nature, just regular nature, not the end of the world. It's the end of the world, Ty. But I'll be willing to do the do. But it's better done than said in actuality. It's better done than said. But yeah, anything they tell us can be true. How can anything be true? Nothing is true. Nothing is true. Check out the video I made on going specifically into subjective and objective. Cause I didn't really know what those terms meant. It just was coming out when I was trying to talk and explain something to somebody. I was like, no, what we're both saying is subjective. So stop acting like what you're saying is so. What's the word? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, they literally mean that. Subjective means that a truth can't be agreed upon. Because it's also because it's wishy washy. But people don't have a hard time with that because they like, I exist. I exist. What are you talking about? I exist. I have feelings. I have memories. I have thoughts about the future. I have skills. What do you mean I don't exist? That's a very hard one for people to handle. And that's what makes it hard for people to deal with psychedelics. But I think that's also what makes it hard for people to deal with reality overall. And then you hear them saying that they being overrun by reality or get subscribed to a particular set, a organized religion. Or organized religion in order to help them out. Because they said, man, I ain't never going to get this right. And I need to get it right. With psychedelics, be like, you probably won't ever get it perfectly right. And that's okay. And then, and feeling so okay and sure about it, you actually start doing cool things, start doing okay things. Like, that's the consequence. You actually start doing okay things. You don't start doing more messed up things. Like if you try meth or crack. Try meth or crack to try to get yourself right or something. You start doing more messed up things afterwards, or heroin. I know I mentioned this yesterday, Matias, but I was just dying because a guy asked to use my lighter. Hey, try not to clink so much. A guy asked to use my lighter, and what happened afterwards? I said the flame on my lighter is low. Like, wait, that's high. My flame on my lighter is low because I was on, and he said, "Oh, what you been smoking a lot of meth lately?" And he said it funny as if I was like already going to say, "Yeah, yeah." Like he was just comfortable. I said, "Nah, nah." But then I wanted to make him feel comfortable, so I said, "Yeah, I'm on a little mushroom though. I'm on a little mushroom right now." And then he was telling his girlfriend, like, you want some mushrooms? Nah, I don't think you can handle that. You'll go crazy. You'll go crazy. I was like, what? Like, man. They're more control, more fear. People, another thing just saying what's true. Because we believe what somebody said in a moment. I have arms and legs. I can move around. But what if it's a simulation? Why should it not be a simulation? I want to know when people are I want to know why do people fight that this is a simulation? Like how do y'all answer that? Why do people fight that this is a simulation? Like when that idea or that postulation appears in their imagination or in their somebody talking to them or something like that. Why do the government that's set up in their mind fight that off? We exist, but the question, why do we exist and why do we feel and act the way we do? Well, it's because it's programmed in our nature. Just It's programmed in our nature, just like the simulation theory, where to experience these things. Yeah, we are. Hey, that's why I just go with that cliche. If we are here, that's what it must mean. If I'm feeling, I must was meant to feel. No more much thinking about beyond that. We exist, but yeah, cause and that's what the mushroom told me. The mushroom told me was that we was here for, that at the moment that I was present in that trip for that moment of that subjective truth of that trip. It was saying that it was a mystery, and I was literally running around like a detective. I love it. I love it. And it had me tie on the Star Wars, The Next Generation, Data, when he used to like to go into the holodeck on the Star Trek world to in order to have some fun. And he liked to go into the particular episode. He liked to go into the Sherlock's home world and play detective, and have all the hologram things play out stories from the Sherlock Holmes world. But yeah, that question I asked, what did y'all have to say? Let's scroll back up. I was just thinking about a friend who thought it was crazy that I said, I'm just talking to myself when I'm talking to other people. He thought it was ludicrous, but I was just like me and you from yeah, that terminology just seems real strange to people. They like, I only hear that on TV. Like, that's what the cuckoo guy on the TV in the movie usually says. Like, are you one of them? I think we're used to when people talk to us about otherworldly things, it's always in the form of angels and demons. So if it's not under that disguise, then then most people like say, oh, wait. You can remix the Bible, but you can't just forget about it. Start using a whole other terminology. And then, as Cozy said, and then we are told by the masses not to question reality or our existence because of society standards, that they don't want us to be a higher version of ourselves. Yeah, and I like that. I like how you put that, a higher version of ourselves. And it's the wild thing is that a higher version of ourselves is literally a healthier version of ourselves. Like, isn't that wild? Like, the way that we think and come about situations, our literal health and longevity or shortgevity, however it is, but our literal health, how we feel about things going on, because how we feel always overpopulates our health, period. Like, a person could be dying of cancer, but if they have a psilocybin experience, a near death, and they like near death, their last weeks are always been reported to be generally higher than people that didn't have the experience. So their health overall was good. Like, they felt good. It didn't matter about what was going on in their body. But also as well, it helps us pay more if we catch it in the lower ages. It helps us like say, oh wow, I want to start working out more. Oh, I want to start eating this a little more or a little less of that, or just start switching up. Just and not saying restrict your diet, but not eat things that's that's literally gonna kill you a little faster. Like, that you know for sure. That you know for sure. Cause we ignore a lot of things real easily. But when you in your higher self state, it's like it's a little harder to ignore things that's apparent. Hold on, I'll make my way down. You you construct your psyche with your experience, each one with different approach. It's like learning the tools. People fight, Nerdy Afro said, people fight because they are so identified with the story they are living. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. They are so identified with the story that they live in. I was ultra I was ultra sarcastic. Sorry, I understand that. The mushrooms get me back and being ultra sarcastic because I'm like, I don't want to be. But it just be how it come about. It's just when you see things for what it is, sarcasm is just another feeling. Just another feeling. Some people can never be sarcastic. Like it's not even in their bone. They're like, oh, I can never let that out. They might. I don't know what people will think of me. Yeah. Okay. I got you in a second. It's my TS said. Oh wait, I'm almost done. Nerdy Afro said they will have to deconstruct their whole identity in order to even accept other ways as possibilities. Yep. It would have to be deconstructed. And the willingness to be deconstructed, like that guard is strong. That guard is strong. And the most people right be really getting to that state is when they on alcohol. But then when you're on alcohol, you want to have fun, and you ain't trying to think about no deep spiritual stuff. So that's out the window. So really, it does come to um, having psychedelic experiences, or for most people, if they have a near death experience, or something that brings you out of every that just rattles your world so much, that doesn't identify with anything you ever seen. And most of the time that only comes, hey, sorry about that, it cut off. And most of the time that only comes with some kind of experience, some kind of psychedelic experience. Hey, you see how we can't really even put into words what we see. So that's like it's really is world shaking. Instead of just shaking up your city, moving to another city. Oh yeah, I moved to another city. It's a big change. Or I moved to another country. Or I moved to the other side of the world. Like imagine moving to another world. Imagine moving to another reality, and then coming back. That's fresh. That's a fresh mind state. You really see where you came from. It really appreciates. I remember doing my TSA. I remember doing acid, filling each chakra. The things I remember doing acid, filling each chakra. The things that are all around and inside of me, like the Gemini of everything and what it meant. How everything that I learned clicked when I did that. We can stress out too much because I too struggle to learn to be and relate to others. Yeah, it's that, and when you just being, you relate the most. Like you relate the most. That's how I see it myself. When I'm just myself, I relate more than when I'm stressing too much about it. Because then I start thinking I gotta appear this way, or I just don't. But that Gemini feeling, that duality, yeah, that acid does give you that feeling of feeling duality like here in your body instead of like leaving your body and experiencing other things. Acid is like magical stuff that's here. It's like the magic essence of this earth. And that inside and out is the same thing. Because we learn to struggle and relate to others to a mutual mutual end. And then what if it never ends? And the rabbit hole just keeps on going. But the only way is to feel sad about where you are right now. And then you can finally get, or not even satisfied, but just wake up and notice that it's another level. And just keep on going. Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on keeping. If I can. And y'all had take any trips lately? While I look this up. Or have any questions? Ooh, caught that. Let me go. Zoom out. Bring this over here. Just seeing what's going on. I did this last time. Wait, what? Magic Mushroom is a always win slot real time gaming. That's what they named a casino. And we talked about Santa Cruz and all the cities. Shout outs to all the cities that's criminalizing magic mushrooms for personal use. Personal use and exploration. Experts warn against picking Vancouver Island's magic mushroom species. Now, this is a Vice News article. Of course, it's from Vice. Experts warn against picking Vancouver Island's magic mushroom species. The commonly seen mushroom can be easily mistaken for its deadly relative. Oh, they trying to put the fear out there. I think that's psilocybin cyanescence because it's growing on wood chips. It has vertical stripes down the stem and the very, very prominent wavy caps. Hmm. And they are one of the top three most potent species of mushrooms. Yep, psilocybin cyanescens are wavy cats, which are small brown mushrooms with wavy tops. They can easily be confused with other small brown mushrooms, many of which are poisonous to various degrees. People have died from eating religious. My cautions is that they can be dangerous to consume. So they really just put this article. I'm not even going to read this. So know your mushrooms. You see how these grow on wood chips, and if you were to touch them, they will bruise blue. I'm not condoning the use of illegal or legal drugs. I'm not saying go do anything that you see or hear on this podcast. But what I'm saying is that if they bruise blue when you touch them, they will bruise a bright blue, and they will have a purple blue. They will have a purple spore print. If they have a brown, gray, yellow, any other color, the spore print, stay away from them. But these blues bruise blue very, very fast. And get into a book. Get into a book. Get on Shroomery, and they have some articles that compare mushrooms and what's going on. And if you know somebody, ask some questions. Hey, Nerdy Afro 47 said just been microdosing B plus. How's that been treating you? I've been doing that lately. I'm always doing something. But I like how it boosts my creativity in the moment. Wait, let's go over here. Da da ba ba do do do. Let's click, click, click. Say click. Take a pic. But yeah, I used to. I like microdosing. I like microdose because the state it puts me in is like all the things I already know. I could just go and do. I'm not. It's no struggle to go and do it. It's like I'm just gonna go and do it, and it's always something I always want to do too. Like something that's productive and creative, and something that's helping me build about a skill. Hey Rudy, you want to say hey? What's going on? I wonder what difference would make microdose and LSD. Can you handle the details that determine the outcome for at least a while? Yeah, somehow the stream did get laggy. I don't know how to. I didn't move the computer or anything. I'm trying the computer in a different spot next time. Trying to get the exact right position. Okay. Um, I said, Matias, you said wonder what the microdosing difference. I used to microdose when I was about 3 years ago now. 3 years ago when I worked at the ice cream shop, Franklin Fountain, and it made me feel like I was more into the game, like I was enjoying the game that I was playing. It's kind of comparable to microdosing on the shrooms, but the come up is different. On the acid is a lot more smoother. Like mushrooms still like kind of affect your body, but still the way that it allows you to go about your activities, like seeing that it's a kind of a game, but that you're wishing to participate in, but this is how you're going to participate in it. And you get on acid. I remember getting a lot of cool reflexes. I got a lot of cool reflexes with catching things and stuff. I was mentioning that yesterday. Microdose LSD got me like real cool reflexes. Well, so does mushrooms too. I'm just not in the anymore where I have to catch objects as much as I was when I was working at that store. I think it's whatever you practice. Because I used to also practice writing backwards. I remember because I had some free time a lot during the winter months. So when I was microdosing, I used to say, so it real seems real easy to write backwards. So I used to practice writing backwards or reading backwards and just seeing how simpler it was. And I get that same effect microdosing on mushrooms. I'm able to like see a scramble of words and like read it through like it was supposed to be written like that. And even writing with my left hand, that's when I first started. Not first, kind of before that, but that's when it started becoming. I started becoming a lot better at being ambidextrous. Oh wait, the chat went away. Started a lot better at being ambidextrous and using my both hands to write stuff and like practicing because it wasn't that much resistance to it. It wasn't thoughts popping up. It's like, what are you doing? You always write like this or da da da. It was just my mind state, my settings was switched up and was trying to work it out. Why ain't there history on mushrooms? He said, because I feel the story is ancient. Yeah, there's a history of mushrooms. It's a history of mushrooms. They just always called this something different. They always called this something different because they grow all over the world. They grow all over the world, and I'm thinking about let me see, Nordic traditions mushrooms. Oh wow! When I type in Nordic tradition mushrooms, when I typed in Nordic tradition mushrooms, Santa Claus stories came up. Santa Claus and his reindeers. 8 ways magic mushrooms explain Santa Claus. The Santa is a flying reindeer can trace to the unlikely source. Yeah, yeah. They mostly gonna say the red and white. You see the red and white, the Anemita muscaria. Yeah, the reindeer drink the the reindeer eat the mushroom, and then the it's filtered through their body, through their liver, and then the shamans would drink the piss in order to get the compounds and go on a trip. A visit from St. Nicholas may be borrowed from shaman rituals. Many of the modern details of American Santa Claus come from an 1823 poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, which later became famous as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." The poem is credited to Clement Clark Moore, an aristocratic academic who lived in New York City. The origins of Moore's visions are unclear, although Arthur Rush and Ruck all think the poet probably drew from northern European motifs that derive from Siberian or Arctic shaman traditions. At the very least, Arthur wrote Santa's sleigh and reindeer are probably references to various related northern European mythology. For example, the Norse god Thor, known in German as Donner, that's weird, flew in a chariot drawn by two goats, which have been replaced in modern retelling by Santa's reindeer. Other historians are unaware of connection between Santa and shamans or magic mushrooms, including Stephen Nefelbaum, who wrote a book, blah 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 blah. Alright, let me get back on this. There's an image from the Bible of a tree-type mushroom in a helix, kinda swarping way up. I think I know what you mean. And it got like the two flowers poking out the side with Adam and Eve. Psychedelics have a huge impact on history and world, but you can't read too much about it. Yeah, yeah, you can. It's only what we can like discover because they was always using code words in these secret societies, so that the organized religious folks wouldn't kill them, and then like destroy their history, like they eventually kind of did. Yeah, it helps to me to be more confident and aware. I feel more open to myself, said Nerdy Afro, in response to microdosing. Yeah, it really helps a lot. It helps a lot. I'm glad they said it makes you more confident and aware. Cause it just makes you aware. You don't even gotta think that you're aware. You're just like, oh, I'm aware. I'm there. I'm definitely there. Let me see. This is the picture I was thinking about. I was thinking about another picture about the Helix Matias. This is the one I was in my head. The one right here. Hey, here goes a more full body. Persephone and her daughter Demeter, but this is not the Bible though. Persephone and somebody else's Bible, and her mother Demeter admiring each other's mushrooms. The former mythical adoption by Hades underlines the fertility rite, which ultimately became the psychedelic celebrations at Eclipsis, as described in Psychedelia. Wait, I want to know more about that. Is that why Persephone went to hell? Well, went to Hades? It's because she took the mushroom? Because eventually she got out. She wasn't there forever. She had a bad trip? Or a challenging trip? I want to scroll down. See what they got to say. Cool. That's a nice mushroom. That mushroom looks lovely to me. Man, thank y'all. Thank you, my T's and Nerdy Afro Sahi Cozy for being here. This is the still the grassroots with this internet popping on and off. But look at this. Those are some beautiful mushrooms. According to researcher B, Cardi B, the word mushrooms goes back centuries and was never precisely defined. The term mushroom and its variations may have been derived from the French word mousseron in reference to moss, moussi. Mushrooms are classified as plants, but they do not have chlorophyll. Nope, they don't use photosynthesis to convert light into energy. Chlorophyll is the green substance in plants that through oh well, they just said it. The scientific name is fungi from the Greek mikes, and although part of the plant kingdom, their reproduction is by spores, microscopic scales that the fungus leaves fall to the ground in huge quantities. Yep. Get yourself a spore print. Work some magic. Some, like the ancient Egyptians, are believed that there was a special connection between mushrooms and gods. According to ancient Egyptians, wild mushrooms were the son of the gods, sent to earth by lightning. Woo, that's vicious. Only the pharaohs were therefore allowed to eat them, and that's why they called the pharaohs gods. The literal god incarnation of gods on earth. But I think it was a lot of people doing many spells and stuff on in Egypt. I think they it was a little more than the pharaoh participating probably. But I think he had the most profound experiences that everybody else was willing to obey and accept. Cause he still did reign over top of them. He still was like a president. Ancient Egyptians reveal Ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs reveal that pharaohs thought mushrooms were sacred herbs that you could consume to become immortal. Yep, like I was saying, yeah. The few these are some mushroom stones. A few estimated 200 mushroom stones that escaped destruction despite the concerted efforts of misdirected Catholic missionaries. The Catholic missionaries were just trying to destroy all of them. The smaller mushroom stones are the ones found with metatites, which were presumably used for grinding the sacraments prior to use. Yeah, y'all know how you guys had that good old weed bowl that got weed on it. They mushroom bowls was made in the shape of a mushroom. Nothing more, nothing less. And the Catholics was like, we can't have this. This is not holy. Ancient Greeks were less enthusiastic about mushrooms. The Greeks feared mushrooms and considered them dangerous because they were poisonous. In Roman civilization, however, the fungus appeared in culinary qualities, became a symbol of death fungus. The term means bringer of death, from the Latin fungus equals death and needle equals port lead. How does that line up? The term, so in Greek, the symbol for death fungus means, the symbol for mushroom is death fungus, and it means bringer of death. And they got this from the Latin death needle because it points at you. See how it points up? Okay, that makes a little more sense. So it literally means, so I think they were just covering up the mysteries more, because by the time we got to the Greeks and stuff, they was trying to be more philosophical and coming up with terms and definitions that they was taking from other cultures and say, yo, we got the truth. Like, this is all that we need now. Then we gonna go off of here. And you see how other civilizations that was so-called civilized based off their stuff off of the Greeks. But they camouflage the sacrament that got them there in the first place, or got civilization to this point in the first place, by calling it death. And I say they camouflage it because it still does lead you to a certain type of death. But that certain type of death is not what everybody think it is. So it scared the the people that wasn't ready that wasn't going to get the knowledge away. Like it was keeping knowledge hidden away at this point. Like this, I think this is when it was starting with these Greeks, and then they invented all these gods and made statues and stuff again, and never really explained what they was really about. Just said that this was actually happening. The gods live right there on Mount Olympus. How do you know? We just know, and now you know. They was on mushrooms or something. But wait, did I ever put the screen back over? Nope, I didn't. The endogenic mushroom stones of Mesoamerica. Oh, this is cool. All right, I'm about to get you some food in a bit.
No.
Bye.
This way.
Go ahead. In Mesoamerica, there was a mushroom cult. We come across many ancient statues depicting humans or gods made in the likeness of mushrooms. Some researchers have suggested the stones might represent a narcotic mushroom cult in Mesoamerica, but there is no evidence such a cult existed. The mushroom stones can be found in Mexico, Guatemala, and other places in America. For some unknown reason, the mushroom stones ceased to be made centuries before Columbus arrived on the shore of America. The enigmatic mushroom stones of Mesoamerica. Wait, for some reason, mushroom stones ceased to be made centuries before. And examining these mushroomic artifacts, you must keep in mind that they were not made for our enlightenment. They were iconic shorthand summarize a whole bundle of associations, whatever those associations was. Oh, so they're saying that this was a whole symbol in and of itself. It's probably symbolizing a whole psychedelic experience. Because look how that person is shaped. Like, people ain't shaped like that. Yeah, the pre-classic Mayan mushroom stone pictured at the far left is from the site of Quemanajayu in the Guatemala highlands, which depicts a mushroom emerging from the back of a crouching jaguar. Mushroom stones with a double edge or groove on the underside of the cap have been dated to the late pre-classic period, about 300 through 100 BC, by Stefan F.D. based on the few mushroom stones that have been extracted in context. Yeah, you can take that if it's still on. The Christian cross. What they got to say about this? The Christian cross is to be found in endless shapes, including the effigy cross or crucifix, and all stems back to a complex of emotions, belief, and religious longings. The crucifix was revealed to an archaeologist eons hence, more than, say, a Maltese cross. So with the mushroom stones, the subject matter of the ephes holds the secret. Late ethnomycologist Robert Malin Sutton said, experts that study mushroom cults in Mesoamerica have found evidence both the hallucinogenic animated muscaria and the psilocybin mushroom were worshipped and veneered as gods in ancient Mesoamerica. Oh, the charger out there. Wait, how did they just skip over the Christian cross? Like, what is... Oh, the way he holding it out? The way he holding out the mushrooms right here? Look like it's a cross? Wait, we gotta look that up. We can't just let things fall like that. Hold on. Images. Yep.
Actually, the charger is kind of tangled up.
I'll just plug it up. It's alright if it's tangled up. So this is the effigy crucifix that guy's mentioning, and comparing it to this right here, and how they used to do their rituals or something. Just trying to see what he really saying. Like, what is a Maltese cross then? Now, what is this? The Maltese cross is a cross symbol consisting of four V's or arrow-shaped concave quadrilaterals converging at a central vertex at right angles, two tips pointing outward symmetrically. It is a heraldic cross variant which developed from earlier forms of eight-pointed crossers in 16th century. I don't know what this guy was saying. I don't know. Sorry, I don't. Y'all know what he talking about? I don't know. I'll come back to that. I just want to finish this before I log off. Soma is a mysterious plant mentioned over 100 times in Rig Veda. Was it a mushroom? I remember going over that. In the Vedic text, in the Hindu text, Soma was something that was had by the gods. Is Soma as a red plant having no leaves and lacking roots and blossoms, but having a stem that is juicy and meaty. While the hymns about Soma have come down to us through time, the biochemical identity of Soma still remains a mystery. Was Soma perhaps a mushroom? Now, sure is a mushroom behind him, no doubt about that. Soma was considered to be the most precious liquid in the universe, and therefore was an indispensable aspect of all Vedic rituals used in sacrifice to all gods. That's the way they saw them. They had to take it. Particularly in Idra, the warrior god. Supposedly, you get that warrior spirit in you. That magician. Supposedly, gods consumed the beverage in order to sustain their immortality. In this aspect, Soma is similar to Greek asperita, Kogak, because it was what the gods drank and what helped make them deities. Ooh, cause what if you can shift so much in a psychedelic experience that and like become aware of your other self so prominently that you really like I already know I'm not going to die, but I'm trying to put it out there as a story that you really don't die and that you become aware of yourself in another reality. Like it's another reality of yourself that's aware that you died in this reality. So now, or that you just was highly aware in that reality, and now you know how things work. That I think it's probably already happening. Probably happening like as we speak, like right now, like already. But but you like even I'm just thinking even a more higher level where you don't gotta wait till you 27 or 25 like I was, but you just come out the gate, come out the womb like, whoa, yeah, wow, I'm in a new game right now. This is cool. Like born with a certain level of awareness because of what you did in another reality, and that's your immortality because you didn't have to start like literally all over again, but you started off